It's now time for Monster Soup with your really fun at parties host, Dave Spencer, and his level-headed co-host, Brian McKinney. These dudes will explore all the crazy mysteries roaming our forest and deserted hallways. After all, monsters are real. It's Monster Soup time right now. Get it while it's hot. Now your hosts, Dave and Brian.
Why, hello, everybody. Welcome to Monster Soup, a kitchen conversation for misfits, cryptids, and these kids. I'm Dave Spencer, your golden retriever host, and with me, as always, as they call him at the YMCA, backstroke Brian, but not for the reasons you would think, Brian McKinney. What's up, buddy?
Woo-woo! All right.
Forgot about that.
Good afternoon.
Woo-woo.
It's already
so
in the
we
chat.
Are. How is it in the chat? Oh my gosh. So listen, we're fresh off of Salt Forks Bigfoot conference, Ohio Bigfoot conference, and that thing is the event for us is a guys weekend. Essentially, it's what it comes down to. It's us going down there and just having maybe like just the most guy time you could have, just drinks, farts, whatever it could be. And the one thing that came out of it was for some reason saying woo woo. Oh, it came from us talking about going to an ICP Insane Clown Posse wrestling thing, and then we were kind of like lacing it in. Me and the person that were talking about it entirely forgot about it, and apparently it was adopted as like a catchphrase on your brother's videos that he was taking. He's like woo woo, and just then every video he showed us while he was drunk was like, check this video out, woo woo, hey guys. Listen, woo woo. And for any juggalos out there, I'm aware it's whoop whoop.
We weren't sure if there's any copyright infringement, so we
we changed it for IP reasons for the weekend. We don't want to get sued for hanging out. So we changed it up. But yeah, we had a fantastic time there. If you ever get the chance to go down, it's absolutely wonderful. Though I mean, the one downside was it kind of rained all weekend.
Oh yeah, it was weather was miserable.
Yeah, so like the downer of that is like the vibe in the bar versus the vibe outside is like completely different. When you go to a bar, you tend to like hang out and you can't have those like intimate moments of like talking that you can really have, especially when there's like a band playing that you can have when you're like outside, amongst the stars and like talking, and then people tend to like open up a little better with these like strange, weird ideas. We were able to get a couple like later, as the time went on, and the speakers went a little lower and stuff like that. We were able to like talk about that kind of stuff, but there was a lot less Bigfoot this year, more just like, like, oh, hey, but we got a few, but
we got a few good stories, and if we friended some people we can reach out to. But I mean, in all, we obviously had a blast. We make the best of any situation we're in. But the vibe was definitely more of just hanging out at a bar vibe, because we were at a bar with a band playing, so there wasn't as much talk. But going there over the last several years, we've made friends who we just hang out with at this point anyway, because we already know their stories and things like that. They're just fun to hang out with. So it was just a lot of hanging out with your friends, and then a little Bigfoot on the side,
Yeah, I will say that might not be everyone's experience, because that's just our experience. So if you're going there like, I don't really like the bar scene, it's like, that's not what it is. It just happens to be how we roll. We're just like, hey man, it's nice out. I mean, like it's nice now. Let's just start drinking. We're at the place we're sleeping at, so it's 6 o'clock.
We show up at Friday at noon. We're not working, so it's a nice guys weekend. So we start off with the beverage but yeah, I mean, you could go the whole time and have a blast and not ever once go to the bar.
Yeah,
but having the bar pretty much right next to the conference room is clutch for us.
Not too shabby. I do want to mention about something I did today. So I was invited to go. This is unrelated to any of this, but I was invited to go to because I'm an illustrator, and I was invited to go to a I think it's limited sight because a lot of these kids weren't completely blind, but like either going to be blind at some point or just sight impaired. I was able to go into this like kind of conference area and talk to them about illustration, which seems like a weird thing to tell to people who can't see that well. Like, hey, look at this, kind of thing. But it was more like kind of describing what I do and stuff like that. But they also had a machine where you basically could draw like a black and white drawing, and then you feed it. You have this special paper that you draw it on, and then you feed it through this essentially heater. It's like a roller with like a heater on it, and it makes it like puff up so that the kids could like touch their art that they made and the art that I made.
It basically turns it into like Braille art.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like what is it? I have one. I made like these dinosaurs, and like I was just like, what do I draw? Like dinosaurs, and I had this is all like tactile, like these little spines up the side. Oh, it's so freaking cool to feel. I was so excited about it, and like the kids made some stuff. There's just one girl was making like an oxalotl, and like all this, like one kid was making like a Wienermobile and stuff. It was incredible. It was so much fun. I was just like, this is so rad. But it always kind of makes you go like reflect. And also, I have to say, every time I go into a space where people were being helpful and like educating, it is always filled with women. Like always. It just makes me go like, why are men in charge? And I'm not virtue signaling here. I'm just saying, like, it's just an observation that I've made on an almost every time scale. Things are actually getting done and actually like kind of feel like they're like correctly being handled. It's always just like a sea of women that are getting it done. And this goes from the place that I work at, the place like this like father-daughter dance I went to one time. All of us like dads are like walking around like, where do you need us? And there was just these women just kind of like corralling us and like making sure that like everything was kind of going smoothly. And I'm just like, we are just a bunch of idiots. Just like, did you see the game last week? It's just like we say like 6 phrases, and then we're just like we die of a heart attack someday. And these women are just kind of like, so I have this and this, and it like, here's the decor, here's the salsa dip. And I mean, just at that event specifically, I was just like, they're sitting there, they're being so patient, so kind, and like knowing exactly what all these kids need. Which kids I can like, because I was like videoing some of it. They were like, which kids could be video. They're like, that one, no. Yes on this one, because it's like a consent thing. But yeah, so like just try to navigate all these little moving parts and just like knowing exactly where to be at all times, and also just being delightful while doing it and not intimidating. It was so cool to see, and it also makes you like reflect on like not that these kids are by any means, it's not a bad thing to be blind, but it's just like one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm so lucky to like that my kids don't have to go through this stuff, but they seem to be handling it super well. And it's just like, it's just very interesting. And the one girl was translating my book, Huggy and Stick, into Braille while I was there. Whoa. She like made it into Braille. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Like I saw her over there. I was like, where'd my book go? Because I had it kind of sitting out. And I just see her over there with the book, and she goes, oh, I was going to make us a surprise. And like, she was like, I was translating it to Braille for you. With these little like sticker things. And I was like, oh my gosh. So she's going to give it back to me like with all the Braille. She was like, I just wanted to make it like inclusive. And I was just like, I freaking love this. I love you. This is amazing. But yeah, just totally different world. I love getting involved in that kind of stuff, especially like just anything with kids where they're like young creatives doing stuff and getting them excited about stuff. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just like trying to navigate that world. So very cool experience I had today.
Yeah, you do a lot of the speaking at schools with kids and art and stuff like that. Have you had any of those lately?
I have one next week. It's a young authors thing. I'm going to go in and talk about the just about creating. I pretty much just get to talk about how I got here and stuff. It's more just like the tale of me. But then at the end, I help them draw like a character. I'll have them give me like 2 animals. They'll be like a giraffe and a shark, and I'll make like a giraffe shark in front of them and stuff like that. So. It's unbelievably fun. One year I went and I felt like there was a scene. There was I did like 2 of them, and then I kind of moved on, and then I was like, any questions at the end? They were like, could you do another one? And this is like an auditorium, so it's like a sea of kids. And I was like, no, we kind of moved along. And then a couple more people asked, and there was like, could you please do another one? And I was like, and I look over at the girl who's running it. And I was like, we got time for another one? And she's like, yeah, she kind of shrugs. And I'm just like, let's do another one. That place, you would have thought I hit like the chord of like Stairway to Heaven. It was just like, they were just like, ah! And I did like, I don't even remember. They were so excited. They wanted to do like a llama dragon. And so I did that. And they were just like, that was so cool. Yeah, so they don't know what celebrities are yet, so they just assume I'm a celebrity. it's like right before they figure out who Harry Styles is. But
so this guy came to our school and drew a picture. Like, he must be famous.
Yeah. Obviously, he's famous. He's written a book. But yeah, so it was very cool. So I get to do that next week. And those are just unbelievably fun. It's fun just like to leave, and they're just like, he's right there. Oh my god! And you just feel like cool for like a little bit, and then you just trip in front of them all, and they're like,
that was us last week at the Bigfoot conference. You know, we're like, hey, look, there's Cliff, there's Dr. Meldrum, there's Renee.
Yeah. We were those little kids, just like, oh, yeah, because I mean, they're just hanging out. Like, I can't stress this enough. If you go to one of these things with those speakers, it's like at a thing, they will just be hanging out. So the people that you want to talk to are fully available, especially Renee, who at the end of the night, we were talking to her. Well, you know, she was just kind of everywhere. Yeah, everybody was kind of talking to her, and she's couldn't be more engaging with everything that you say. So, you know, she was kind of talking to everybody. We finally got our chance, like at the end of the night, because she will just talk. You know, like she's very good at that whole like, oh, let me tell you, like you'll ask her a question and she'll give you a story, you know, which is exactly what you want out of that interaction. Is right down to the T. You're just like, yeah, of course. I was like, oh, do you have any bear interactions? She goes, do I ever? And you're like, yes. So it was incredible.
Yeah, GoPack in the chat. Yeah, Dr. Meldrum's been at the Ohio one most of the years that we've been there, but yeah, it's definitely worth going to see, and he's fantastic. And yeah, he's just out kind of milling around, and you can go to the talks. And I can't speak for Gatlinburg or what their setup is and stuff, but at the Ohio Bigfoot conference, it's at the Salt Fork State Park at the lodge. So just about everybody's staying at the lodge or one of the cabins. So you know, after everything's done, they're just either hanging out at the bar / restaurant, or when it's nice, just hanging out in the back area where there's a giant bonfire, and everybody's just there hanging out. You literally could just walk right up and talk to them. You know, when you're in the conference space, you know, you're there with like 500 other people, you know, there's a Q&A and stuff like that, but you can really just get down and talk to them. They're all extremely friendly, and we'll talk about anything. I mean, I was sitting and talking to Renee about the NFL draft and, you know, the Seattle Seahawks, you know, that's their team and stuff. I mean, we were just talking football. Cliff and I wanted, because Cliff was a music teacher and plays guitar. He and I were talking about what, you know, a couple years ago, like what was in our Spotify playlist, you know, and like, you know, they're not all just sitting around talking Bigfoot stories, you know, you could sit there and talk to them about anything, you know, and they're super engaging and more than willing to just, you know, BS with everybody.
Yeah. It's wonderful, especially. I mean, you're talking about the topic, you know, like you could dig down, and Adam Davies might even steal one of your pieces of pizza.
Yeah, and I think GoPack. I think Adam Davies is going to be at that Gatlinburg one, and he's worth the wait too. I mean, he's awesome. He and I sat around and talked about Loch Ness Monster for like an hour one night.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just talk about anything. Yeah,
his talk was great. We had a really good time with his talk, and we learned about the Mongolian death worm, which is just the most metal of the cryptids. Like, it's just like, we're Mongolian death metal or death worm. Yeah, it sounds like a Guar like side project.
Oh yeah, Jesse and Joe from Hellbound Holler. Yeah, they're great too. Yeah, you know what? We saw them. They were at Monster Fest the first year we went down in Canton.
I don't think I know what Hellbent Holler is.
It's a podcast that they have. They had a booth. I don't know that they gave a speech or anything that we saw, but they had a booth up, and I talked to them for a couple of minutes. Must have been 2 years ago. Yeah, they got a cool podcast and YouTube channel where they go out squatching and looking for anything weird.
I will tell a couple stories that I did hear that were fantastic. That ones that in between all the like little hits. The one guy we were talking to at the end of the night had a fantastic story about an encounter he had, about just basically like sitting in his tent, and he was just there, and all of a sudden he hears like a oof, and it hits the ground. And he was like, this thump I can feel in my soul. And he's like, and then he started hearing the like, and he didn't see it, right? He just heard.
He just heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, that thump was so specific to like feed. It wasn't a branch. It wasn't whatever. And he's like, and then I felt, I mean, you can just, sometimes you can just feel movement, but like, he's like, I felt the stride, and he strided over my tent. So like, he's like, think about how tall a tent is. And he walked over it like it's, like it was nothing, like, cho. And then he was like,
we kind of teased him with the sound, because he was like, it just sounded like this gigantic thing just landed in front of us. So we were like the Avengers, like a superhero landing kind of a thing. And he was like, yeah, like it was like an abrupt, just like something just fell from the sky and landed 2 feet right in front of my tent, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
And it just moved the earth, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Sorry, to go back to some. Is it called the Who? I think that's how it's pronounced. It's like HU. I only know them, but they're a fantastic band. If you ever want to feel primal, I recommend them. And there's this other band that's like this kind of not Celtic, that's the wrong word. Like Viking rock. And I'm telling you, it'll make you want to do like peyote in the desert next to a fire, shirtless. It's just like, and I'm just like, yeah, I turn that up like all the way, like in my headphones or like in my car. You're just like, you can't not feel like a vibration that doesn't exist on this plane of, it's so good. It's like the way metal makes you feel when you're mad. Like it's that, but like spiritual in a way. Hold on, I gotta figure out what the name of this band is because it's amazing, and I'm just so surprised I forgot it right now.
It's weird because like I listen to metal when I'm mad, and it calms me down.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just like sometimes you ever be like really mad, and you're just like, I just listen to metal right now, and you're just kind of like, it just like hits you in a way.
Yeah.
Oh hell, it's Hellion. I think it's like Hellion. I don't know how to say these words, guys. It's HEILUNG. Watch them play music. Watch like a YouTube video of them, and like there's one where there's like guys with spears on stage, and they're just like slam the spears down. And actually it's funny because my boss's dad posted it, and then he like, because he got like free tickets to it, and he's like that old indie rocker. He plays the theremin. He's couldn't be kinder. He's awesome. But he was just like, he's like, I didn't even know what it was. People go like fully dressed in garb and just like go all out. I was like, this sounds like the coolest thing ever, and I totally missed it. And I was looking, they haven't come to Cleveland. They haven't come back to Cleveland or anything like that. But yeah, phenomenal. I want to go see them so bad. But the Who, I'm just gonna say they're called the Who. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but they're a Mongolian band, and they have that same kind of vibe that like just I don't know. It's like a choir of
Mongolian. I thought the Who was from England. Oh, you're talking about a different one. Okay.
Yeah, different Who. There's some guy. There's got to be some guy. There's some guy in the crowd who's just like totally ready to see the Who. He's wearing like a British flag T-shirt, and he's like, "What the heck?
We're not Vikings."
Yeah, when are they gonna play Teenage Wasteland? And it's some guy who like doesn't understand it all, and at the end of it, he's like, "I'm all in now." He changes his entire personality. Man. I love music's so rad sometimes. I wish I could like really get, like when you were younger, you just like get so into music, and you just kind of I don't know, you like lose it over time because you just don't get to like ingest it as much. I try to like stay on the pulse, but it's just so hard. I found a really good like ska band recently. It's called Millington, and they sound like Newfound Glory and Newfound Glory but ska. And if you know what that is, it's like my favorite kind of music. That kind of like my mom went down to the store, like that kind of stuff. But I just like, I love it so much. And it's also ska. So like, it's just like, and I'm just like, this is amazing. And I'm just like riding my bike, like, you know, trying to get into shape. And I'm just like, this is the best. So yeah, that's, give me some horns.
Yeah.
If you give me a horn section, I'm like so in on your live. Like I want to see you live because we went to go see, what's his name? The guy from the Bleachers, the lead singer of the Bleachers. Well, I mean, we went to go see the Bleachers. That's what we went to go see. And I think it's like Jack Anhoff or something like that. They had two saxophones like versing each other. Yeah, I think it's it. Yeah, that's what it is. And we were just like double sax, like and the lady in front of me. I was like, "Give me them double sax." And the lady in front of me is like, just like you can see her just like laughing because I just kept doing it.
She's like, "Why is this guy so immature?"
I know. She was excited. I think. I don't know, but yeah. Going back to Bigfoot.
I give you a lot of credit for still looking for new music, man. You know me. I shut off the new stuff back in like 1995. I was like, I've hit my limit of awesome bands. You know.
I need you to know that they still make that kind of music. Like it's like it's very specific, but it still exists out there. You just gotta dig a little more. It's not on the mainstream, but there's still metal kids out there just like, I'll make the metal. But yeah, I don't know. But we made as we do when it rains, at least the last 2 years, we did go to our little VIP section, which is a unsanctioned area of the hotel that is covered, but we're also outside because you're just like, I'm in the woods essentially because you're in a state park and you're like, I want to be like in the woods or outside, so like it feels stupid to go back inside. So we just found like a little overhang that like is surrounded by landscaping. We just walked through the landscaping. You can sit under there. People were walking by that we had never known, that we didn't know, and we were like, "Oh, come on up," and we, joke around that it's the VIP section, and then we're gonna invite everybody, like, "Oh, where's your card?" Stuff like that. I ran into with all that, I ran into somebody who was on our network. I'm terrible at names, so I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, do I not have his card? I'm really bad at this. Oh wait, here. Is this it? So yeah. So Charlie Larson, he's on our podcast network. What is it? The journal? I should remember these things. Something paranormal journaling or something like that.
Yeah, we were laughing because we were talking to him and we're like just hitting it off, and then finally we realized we both have podcasts and we're on the same network, and we were like, oh my god, we're so dumb.
Yeah, but he was really cool. I was joking that like I had like just teal shorts on and whatever, and I'm just like, listen, I don't wear camo. It's not my jam. I dress the way I dress, whatever. And then I saw him. We were in the dark, because it's like not very well lit in the VIP section. But then we go out into the light, and he's like, "You really are wearing teal shorts." I'm just like, "Yeah." Listen, if I could surf, I'd be a surfer. I'm a surfer at heart. It's just where I live. But yeah, we were hanging out with him, and we had a phenomenal time with him. Just learned what did he say he was? He's part of the, I want to say it right, the Catskills Appalachian Research Collective. So, which you probably know if you listen to his podcast already, listeners, which I'm sure is already on your feed. So you're just like, yeah. Don't you guys listen to your network? I don't listen to anything. I listen to Dropout TV all day and like D&D campaigns that be on like YouTube. And I watch people do woodwork because I don't even really do woodwork. I just like watching people do woodwork because it's very cathartic for me. Other than that, and then like two comedy podcasts. But yeah, he was super cool, and he was telling us about all the stuff that they do as a collective, and that was super fun. And then we saw the two Corys. Who, the one guy we had never met before, he was tent camping, and he told us a cool story about, he was like, they were walking along a ridge. It was like his friends wanted to come along with him, and he's like, I don't know, this is kind of an intense hike. They said they were walking along like a ridge, and like he was kind of like, it was a thin ridge, so like they kind of had to like hug the wall a little bit. And he's like, and I went right here, like I was up against it. He's like, all of a sudden I see these like foot marks that are like up the wall, and next to it are two tinier ones of just like big feet. Not big feet as in plural, but as in big feet.
Yeah.
Big feet prints just like walking up that wall, like in like a pattern as in like
it's like it was scaling the cliff kind of a thing.
Yeah, and he was just, and he's like, and there's no reason. First off, it wasn't like one of those things. It was like, oh, somebody just like planted these here. That was like, obviously anybody could fake anything, but let's just take it for what it is. Print the legend, not the story. Yeah, he was just like, there. Basically, it was a mama and a kid or whatever. Is there a name for them? The baby ones? Is this cub or
children? Cub? I don't know. Whatever. Kids.
Child. My boy. But yeah. Oh, what's going on? Sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Sorry, none of that made any sense. I was looking at the chat and I was kind of reacting to it. But yeah, he was telling a story about that. And he actually, I don't know if you heard this one. He said that Cliff came to his house because he had his house in this like one area because he had like a pretty significant sighting. So yeah, Cliff was at his house like searching around.
And I don't. Did Cliff just give him a casting that he had, or was that a casting from his house, or what he found? I can't remember what that was.
No, it was a casting that he had. It was kind of like a gift. It was like, thanks for this. Yeah. It was kind of like, I guess you pay me. He pays them in cast. Which honestly is better than money. Honestly, I mean, like, did you give me money? You gave me a Bigfoot. This is a Bigfoot cast. It's like, oh my god, that's so cool. Just endlessly cool. I would like frame it. That would be the first thing that people saw in my house. Little lights on it. Yeah, very cool. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like it was just a lot of just hanging out with people that we get to see. And I asked Renee, like, because she had talked about, we went to her talk, and she just, a lot of hers is like, be curious, which is, the thing that I love most about all of this is I think most of the people out there are curious about like either what this is, or, I hope that you don't come at it like, I don't trust people who don't tell me things. It's like, really what it comes down to is like, there could be an entirely other world out there that's like undiscovered. That's very cool. So you should always come out with a sense of like wonder and excitement. And that's kind of what she was touching on a lot, which is like, be curious, be persistent, check your work, stuff like that. Inspire. And then the pictures that she was showing of like little kids getting into, hunting for Bigfoot and stuff, just like that little camp that she had. I was just like, oh gosh, this is like my bread and butter right here. I love it so much. It just it fills my heart up just to see little kids being like, oh look, I got a little sample. As long as they don't turn into little weirdos later.
That's one thing that you and she have in common is doing all the stuff with the little kids, and definitely getting into that kind of stuff. We
ended the night. Well, I asked her about tornadoes. I was just like, hey, you talked about tornadoes for a second, and then
because she said she was like a tornado hunter at one point or something, or at least was, when she was younger, they would chase after tornadoes or something. I don't know how. How far did she get into that?
She was just like, she's like, yeah, you don't want to hear about that, like in her talk, and I was like, I want to hear about that. Like that's literally, I think almost every kid's little dream is to like chase a tornado. So I was like, when I actually talked to her, because I'm sure at that point she was probably sick of talking about Bigfoot. It's like 1 a.m. I was just like, hey, I said, you talked about Bigfoot and stuff, and she's like, oh yeah, and then so yeah, it was incredible. So she started. I mean, like again, you ask her a question, she gives you a story. She was telling the story about how like how the tornadoes, like the path or whatever, and how it's shifted and things like that. Then I kind of touched base with her when she was leaving the bar too, which she was just like, I gotta go. It's again, we were at the end of the night. I think night 1, I'm standing next to Brian, and he's you were like, I'm talking to the guy. I was talking. Wait, sorry, I'm so bad. I was talking to Charlie, and we were just talking about whatever. And I look over, and you're just swaying. And I'm like, all right, because we're on like a higher deck than that. And I'm just like, if you fall, like, I can't catch you. Like, that's not happening. I was like, we're going to bed. All right, see you guys. Like,
I would have just landed in the bushes. It would have been all right.
Yeah. I think you would have hit that chair first and then hit the bushes. Listen, I'm just looking out for you. That's all I'm here to do. Get back to the room. It was a good time. We always take a swim right when we get there. We get all the boys. We just like go sit in the pool. We drink some drinks. We get in the pool. We get in the hot tub. We hang out for a bit. We just talk. We had a really good conversation. I don't remember what it was about. Just sitting there. I think about everything really, but it's just a good start to the week. You're kind of revving up. You're feeling it. You're like, oh, you get a couple drinks in you. And then we got some food, which was like the first food I'd eaten that day. Which by like the third drink, you're like, oh god, okay, I need to wrangle it in. Yeah, so ate some food, and I've felt good. And then we had a great time, man. It's always fun. I was talking to Snuffy, the chainsaw carver who does all the chainsaw carvings for that lodge, and he was telling us about because I was mentioning that we might not be able to make it next year, but that we might go to something else that that you can like I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. That there was another one that happens like a couple weeks later that was really, really cool. And I think it was I think you wanted to say the Hocking Hills one was really cool.
That's in August.
Yeah, so that'll be really, really fun to do. So if we can't do that one, we'll do a different one.
Yeah, the Hocking Hills one, they used to be like in the downtown area in whatever, I don't know what the name of the town is right over there. And it got so big there, they moved it to like the fairgrounds. And I think you could like just camp right there, and all the speakers. I think Cliff's going to be there this year again. And
the only thing that would throw me off of that is that it's so big, because I do like how kind of intimate the other one is. And I don't know if that, I just want to make sure that I'm in, to quote Hamilton, the room where it happens. I like to be in the nucleus of like, are we telling stories? Like I want to, which I really like. That's my favorite part. Obviously I love hanging out and doing the things and, seeing people and talking, and love talking. But I really, really like hearing people's stories and like just being like, no way, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean there's like a, angel shaped Mothman, like stuff like that, where people just, oh god,
it's Salt Fork, we're all just kind of stuck there. You can't, the town's like 20 minutes away, maybe a little longer than that. So everybody's just staying right there. But in some of these other places, if it's a little more spread out, they may give their talk and then just go back to their hotel or something. And there might not be opportunities to just hang out with the speakers and stuff.
Yeah, or like reset, like sometimes you just need to like lay down and reset and then come back into it, which is very easy when you're like in the same spot. It's just like, our room was like in eyesight at all times because it's like right across the courtyard. So we could just go there, take a 20-minute nap that turns into a 3-hour nap, and then go back down. But yeah, incredibly fun. I can't recommend it enough. It's such a good thing to like hang out. We got to see all of our friends, April, like April and her wife,
April and Alex.
April and Alex. I'm so bad at remembering names.
But they're
Alex,
part of the BFRO.
Yeah. Alex said she would come on, because April was like, I don't know if I can talk. I was like, we've been talking for 3 hours, like just me and you. She's like, I don't know if I have anything to say. I'm like, I was like, I can't stress this enough. This podcast is barely about monsters. It's mainly just us. Oh, what is it? The one lady who came up to us, it was just like, do you guys have any stories? And we're like, no, we don't have any stories. And then she told us the incredible story, and I'm just like, oh. And I was like, that was so cool. Just like, do you want to be on our podcast? Like whatever. And she goes, I'm not really good at talking to people. I was like, you literally walked up to us. And we talked over
you came up to us at the bar and started talking.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I don't know. But her story was incredible. She was like, she backed up in her car, and then all of a sudden, like a Bigfoot like slammed on it. She would tell the story better than me because I'm losing the detail. But like, its hands were on her hood, and she started having like an interaction with it within her car, like tilting her head. It would tilt their head, like kind of, mimicking what she was doing. But she's like, I had full view of him for like a full minute. And then and she's like, he was crouched over.
And it was daytime.
Yeah. Like full daytime sighting. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And that's another one of those things that like always brings me back to that moment where Patty always goes she's like, do you believe in that stuff? And I'm just like, listen, they have no reason to lie to me. It's like, obviously we're in a space that we all want to have a story, but I don't have a story, and I'm very candid about it. Like they don't have to
Mhm.
show me up or anything. I'm not like, oh, I've had 12 sightings, and they're like, well, I had, whatever. I'm literally like, I don't know nothing. I
Mhm.
found out about this like 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and not found out about it, but I started
Mhm.
getting into it about 6 years ago. And purely from like listening to one thing, so I was easily swayed.
Mhm.
I was like, oh no way, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
But
all those years that I was talking to you about it, you just blew me off, and then somebody else mentions it to you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm still in," you know?
listen, they
Yeah,
had some science behind it, and that's all I needed.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like I didn't believe you. I just was like, that's probably dumb though, right?
Well, it was like my wife, you know, she'll say something, I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, you this or that," and she doesn't believe me, and then somebody else will tell her the same thing, and she's like, "Oh, yeah," you know, and I'm like, "I told you that already. You didn't believe me, so you gotta wait for a stranger to tell you."
It's just how it works, man. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, you get locked in with people enough times, you're just kind of like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's your shtick. That's how
yeah.
you roll. Then
But
you
yeah,
move on to
and
something else.
the other cool thing they had at Salt Fork this year is they have their brand new the Eco Discovery Center, which was really cool.
Yes. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me share my screen here because this stuff is pretty cool. So yeah, they have a Eco Discovery Center, Salt Fork, that we went to because it was raining, and we're like, oh, we got a couple hours where nothing's really going on right now.
Mm.
Let's go check out the Eco Center. And
And it had just opened like I think it opened on Earth Day or whatever, like a week before or something. Or it just
yeah.
opened up. You know?
And yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, this is the sign, obviously. If you're watching, this is this is
Mhm.
so if you're just listening, there's a picture of there's a little dome. There's a what would you call it? Like a habitat that was
Mhm.
all like taxidermied animals like within there, but just kind of showing off like like, oh, this is what nature looks like. And then
Well,
in
I
the
think it
middle
was
there's
all
this.
it's all the kind of
What's
stuff
that?
that you'd find at Salt Fork, you know.
Yeah. And then so in the middle there's this little dome. Uh, and I was just like, wait a minute. I was like, how you get to that dome? And I immediately started looking around at the bottom of it, and I see this hole, and I was like, oh, and I went down in there. It's for kids, obviously, but I was like, I'm going down there. So I run down there, and I just like I scurry over, and I pop out. And this is before anybody knew I was down there, except for your son, who was like right next to me when I did it. And then I just see your brother come around the corner, and I knock on it, and he's like, because he didn't expect
Mm.
my head in the middle of this whole thing. Yeah, so funny. But I was just like, oh, this thing's so cool, and I try to get you guys, and you're like, I will never get out of there.
Yeah, I would not
Yes.
fit in there.
And then they have it's beautiful there. The place is huge. They have a couple Bigfoot.
Mhm.
They have two Bigfoot statues, one inside the building and one outside the building. And then this is us at the bar. There's Renee in the corner, hanging out with our friend April.
Mhm. Yeah, April and Alex and Snuffy, and I don't remember who the guy in the back was.
Yeah, we were talking for a while outside. I'm really bad with names, so
Mhm.
actually, it's funny. I was just like, they were like, "Oh, do you know Dave?" He's like, "I remember Dave. He was really loud last year. He was having a fun time." I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah,
right." Listen, I'm nothing if not a good hang.
yeah.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast. So yeah, that was. Stop sharing. I don't think I have any more pictures to share out, but yeah, just incredible time.
Mhm.
I really we keep getting invited to these BFRO like things, but they're always just happen to be around my wife's birthday,
Mhm.
and I'm sure she would love if I wasn't there for her birthday because I was looking for a hairy man in the woods.
Yeah.
Why can't you go to my birthday party that I'm
Mhm.
having? Here's the thing, babe.
Yeah. We're gonna go squatching, you know.
Go and squatch it. She's like, you don't even like
Mm.
camping, and you're going camping on my birthday, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Every time she wants to
see,
go camping, you're like, "Do we really have to go?" But and then now you'd be ditching her birthday so you could go
I know.
squatching.
Oh,
And
what's
that's
going
never
on,
gonna fly.
Teresa? From Scottsdale, Arizona. What's going
Mhm.
on? But yeah, but I want to check out some other ones. If anybody has any
Mm.
ones that they've gone to or they've seen, there was one. What the Squanch was it? Squanch Fest, Squanchapalooza, something like that. There was one
Yeah.
that was like that it was like close by. I want to say it was like in like Illinois or something like that.
Mhm.
Um,
Was that the one
and
that had pro wrestling at it too? Or is that
No, that's the one. That's the one in Kentucky. Unless it was also that one, which would be incredible. But I remember we learned about the squanch at our first cryptid cocktail hour, and I was just like, "What is this?" And it's like a weird hedgehog thing, and I was just like, everything I love about this. Hold on, let me see if I can find it again.
Scott says it's in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I remember it was like one of the adjacent Ohio ones. Oh, Squonk Fest. My bad. Squonkapalooza. No, again, my bad. So Squonkapalooza. Oh yes, the pig. It's the weird pig crying thing. It's fantastic. Just like the name alone just makes me want to go. Yeah. It's just incredible. Such a weird. I just love these weird ones. They're my favorites. Like the little,
like
little
a
guys.
Sad pig.
I know. It's like, who's your cryptid? It's just a sad pig. Which, by the way, oh my god! So I was driving to that like the vision thing, the kids, to go talk to the kids, and there was an Amish buggy, you know, as one does in Ohio. So everyone was kind of slowed down behind.
Where was this at? I mean, that
it was
you got to drive quite a ways to see an Amish buggy from where we live.
Yeah. I'm aware of that. She was like, "Oh, could you?" I was like, "Yeah." You know, it was an immediate yes, because I was really excited about the opportunity. And then she like gave me the address, and I was like, "Cool." It's so far away.
2 hours away.
It was like an hour and a half away. But you know, listen. Again, I purely experienced. The moment she told me they had a little machine that turned my drawings into braille, I was on board. I would have paid to go. Yeah. So, there's this Amish buggy, so it slows all this traffic down. So I have a beat to kind of sit there and look over, and there's these pigs, and the pigs have long, puffy hair, like a sheep. I'm like, surely those are sheep. And then I was like, that's a pig. And there wasn't like listen, I'm not a farm guy. I've grew up. I mean, I lived in Vermilion, which is kind of farm-ish. It's like a farm adjacent, I guess. It's more of a lake town. And I live in a city. I've always lived in a city. I've never seen these types of pigs before. I've at least like driven by enough pigs to think that, but like they had like puff, like, you know, sheep puffs, but I mean, it wasn't as long, but I was like, I had no idea. And the one was like attacking the other one, like chasing after it. So I had enough time to like see their teeth and stuff. Cause my wife was like, are you sure they weren't just sheep? And I was just like, no. Like, I promise you, I was like looking at them, and they were absolutely, there was no world where they weren't just pigs, but I was like, I just had no idea that they were like poofy like that. But I was absolutely delighted. I said out loud, there's a poofy pig, you know, like in my car alone to no one. It's absolutely incredible. I was so excited to see them. And there was 4 baby cows just like hanging out, no mama to be seen, just laying in the grass right next to, again, a buggy slow down situation. So I got a moment to see them and take it in, but they were so cute, just sitting there basking in the sun. Not the veal ones that make me sad, you know, just enjoyed. You know, eventually they will be a consumable hamburger, unfortunately, but in that moment they were free and enjoying the sun. And I was like, oh, like, and they were all laying down. They were just sitting there like looking at each other, whatever cows are thinking about. But absolutely fantastic. I love it. I text Patty immediately because I was just like, because she's if we're in the car and we see cows, the word cow will get screamed at the top of her lungs. She's like, cow. And we're like, okay. It's like she's the cow identifier in the car. So I was just like, oh, you missed it. I was like, 4 little ones right there. It was the best. She's like, dang it. Absolutely incredible. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I got sidetracked. Oh, we got here because
you were talking about
Squonkapalooza.
Well, you talked about going down to your vision place, and
that's what it was. Yeah. I just didn't remember how we got here. Squonkapalooza is where we're at.
And Scott says his favorite cryptid is Doug the Weed Goblin.
Yeah. So there's this guy, and he's just sitting there, and I forget. He's like, I don't remember I said it, or I was just like, I feel like he was just like, hey, he's like, I think I like tripped or something, and I was like, oh man, it's like I'm high. He's like, you want to be? I was like, man, I'd love to be. And he just like made weed appear. And I was just like, oh, I was just kind of joking. Like I just know that like once that starts, I have no ability to talk, and my brain goes somewhere else, and I just apologize all night. I'm like, I'm so sorry, because I just can't. It's just not for me, really. So I was just like, I'm good. He's like, you just said you don't want some, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And then it just turned into a whole thing. But we then called him the weed fairy for the rest of the
the weed goblin.
So, no offense to Doug, he's a delightful man. We had a great time with him. But it's just like he just appeared. I was like, and then we never saw him again. Like after that night, he was nowhere to be seen. He was very specific looking too. So like it wasn't a matter of like, oh, we missed him, or he got lost in the crowd, or we just didn't remember.
Yeah, that was on the first night. Yeah, never saw him again.
Never seen again. Listen, I know a fae when I see one. Would you? I know once I smoke that weed, I'm going somewhere else. He's gonna capture me. Be part of it. Whatever fae do. Woo woo. Yeah, that's the bad Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's freaking wild.
I saw earlier up in the chat. I've been waiting to go back to it. GoPack said, I just recently got very intrigued about reports of feral people in the Appalachians. Y'all know anything about that? Nothing specific, but a large part of my family's from West Virginia, so I always assumed I'd run into feral people when I was down there, but I haven't really ever seen anything. But that I've heard, some people talk about that before. But yeah, that's crazy.
Wait, what was it again? Feral people in Appalachia. I have heard about actually. So, well, here's the thing about Appalachia, though. And I'm only going off of what I know about people that have had experiences. It's kind of what you think it is in certain parts. My neighbors, if you listened to the episode last week, Rick, his daughter is he adopted his daughter, and his daughter is originally from Appalachia, or her descendants. So one day they were driving back home from, wherever they were coming from, and they were passing it, and they knew that her extended family lived in that area. So they kind of went to go visit it. And he was just like, if you have a vision in your mind of like, he's like, I could hear the banjos, just like, he was like, it got rough, and he's like, we're walking up this incline. We get to a house that absolutely in no way possible has electricity. And this old lady walks out. I was like, can I help you? And he goes, this lady was built like a brick house. And he's like, I don't know how old she was. She was probably like 25, but looked like she was 96. He's like, she lived a hard life. And he was like, oh, it's up the hill, like told her where, because they were looking for somebody specific. So they got like halfway up the hill, and they were like, you know what, this is just not going to happen today. Like, they had kids and stuff in tow, and they were like, let's just not do this, because it was really steep. I mean, you had to either get there by ATV or your feet, and they were just, they called it. But yeah, I mean, that's my vision of Appalachia, and so every time somebody says that, I specifically think of that story you told me. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. I would assume maybe those are the feral people, just the regular folk there. They're listen, we're all doing our best. We're all living the life, and they're probably freer than I am at any day of the week. When I'm like, I gotta go to work and click my mouse for 8 hours. They
probably didn't go to work this week. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like, listen, I made up some of Grandpappy's old, medicine, and I'm feeling great right now. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. Just, I don't know how to live that life. I put too many roadblocks on my freedom. So now I'm not a free person anymore. I'm chained to a house mortgage and a car, and I don't have that ability to be like, screw it all.
Yeah.
I'm off the grid.
Oh, there is a guy that walks around our neighborhood who's kind of feralish.
You know what? Are we talking about?
Yeah,
dude,
that's
okay. So listen, townies are the best. For stories alone. We have a specific one in our town, and I'm not going to name him because I'm not going to shame him. Not that he's ever listening to a podcast. I don't even know if I don't know if this guy even knows what a phone is. But in the summertime, his a shirt doesn't touch his skin from like June 1st to about October 16th. He is a shirtless just man walking up and down the streets, and he's wearing a red bandana, and he's just talking to himself like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you and whatever. And I'm like, fine. He's usually pushing a lawnmower. And you know what? He's out there making his money, doing his thing. Great. Love it. I'm sitting at a bar where I got some to-go food, and I was like, I'll wait at the bar, get a drink, and wait with my buddy, and we're talking. And there's a guy at the one side of the bar who slowly becomes increasingly more aware to me that he is absolutely hammered. And this person is just like, yeah, and then like a Pink Floyd song goes on, and he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And by the way, the music is at a level where I'm like, this is not like I can barely talk to my friend, and this is like an eating establishment. And I'm just kind of like talking over. He's like, could you turn this up? And I'm like, please do not turn it up. I think it's like 6:30. Let's cool it. So he's just like, can you turn it up? All of a sudden, Townie guy walks in the door, and he starts singing the song that's on the radio. And that guy turns, and he's like, hell yeah, brother. Within 20 minutes, I see the Townie guy strumming a guitar, walking through the restaurant, which was not attached. That's attached to the bar, but is like not it. Like you go there, and you either go to the bar side or you go to the food side. The food side is very like, I came here with my grandma, and she wants the food that's here. Not I want to grab a beer and get hammered. Like it's just like a different vibe, you know.
Yeah. And they weren't expecting a Townie guy going table to table serenading people.
Serenade him like it's at an Italian restaurant with a cello. Like he's like, and I'm just like, we're walking out, which my friend is not from around here, so he's just like, what is that? And I'm just like, it's the best is what it is. Like, oh gosh, it fills me up. It's so funny. I love it so much.
As Scott said in the chat, he is nice. He was actually like a week or two ago, right before Easter. I ran into him at Wendy's, and he was the only person like pre-Easter that wished me a happy Easter, just like out of the blue. He was there. He looked
the
like
best.
He just came out of a cave or something. He sees me, and he gives me that look like, I'm pretty sure I recognize you. And then he's just like, happy Easter, man. And I was just like, you too.
Yeah, man. Listen,
yeah,
they're all good people.
Yeah,
the good people thing is it's
but
always.
If you, everybody around here knows him and sees him and knows that he's harmless. But if you just saw him in a dark alley, you would run away. You'd be scared out of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're like, I'm coming to your house, you'd be like, no, no, thank you. Please don't. I love you being around though. It's so much fun. Oh man. So yeah, I would love if people could give me some more places to go, because I love to check them out. When is the at the end of this month we have our ghost tour coming up, which is very exciting. And then
the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, our overnight private ghost tour. I gotta bring a change of clothes for that one, because I'm not all about that.
Change of clothes. Wear your brown pants. You'd be fine.
Yeah. I might have to.
Listen,
for me. It's all fun and games till I show up at the haunted reformatory,
and you're like, "Oh no, this is real."
Yeah, it's like getting on a roller coaster at the top of the hill. I'm like, "Can I get off now? I need to get off."
Thank you. Might have to break off from Brian. You're like, "Listen, I had 6 hours by myself."
Yeah,
Brian left immediately.
He's crying in the corner.
He's like, "No, thank you." You're at the buffet area, like at the top. Is there more food? More of this food? You just have like 5 hot dogs. This is me now. You have fun in the reformatory. You have fun in the room, or wherever the scary place was. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's that place that could give you nightmares.
I'm so excited about those nightmares though. Oh gosh. I have a unearned confidence about how I will handle it. I've never done something like this before. I worked at a haunted schoolhouse, but it was like, it was called the haunted schoolhouse because it was what is it?
It was Halloween time, and
Halloween haunted house. Yeah. Like they sold chips there, and so like I have this like, I can handle it fine. I worked at a haunted house, but like, I mean, like it was haunted adjacent. Like I never saw anything or anything, but I was at a place like that. But yeah, I feel like I'll be able to handle it, and it'll be ran as heck. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if I also have to bring my brown pants. Like, hey Brian, you got another pair of them pants? No reason. I'm doing fine.
I just like the color.
I slipped. I slipped in some mud back there. It's been stagnant.
That'll be good. I gotta brush up on all my Shawshank Redemption quotes. I'll be resetting them all night long while we're there.
You're like, John Doe is the upper hand. Like, wrong movie.
Yeah. Same guy, wrong movie. Yeah. I'll just walk around and be like, get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah, everyone who works there is just rolling their eyes like, yes, of course you said that. Of course you said it. They're just so sick of it. I mean, listen, it's the best movie. It's like, it's such a good movie. You can like watch it at any time and be like, yeah, it's great. It's directed well. It's got good acting. It ends and you're like, yeah, you did it.
Yeah, in my impression of it is that, I mean, we're just gonna have free rent of the place. So like, there's gonna be like an employee or something that like unlocks the door and is like, I'll be back at like 3:00.
Yeah,
let you out.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're gonna see a whole lot of employees.
Yeah, Jill Betts gave us that app, which I can't remember right now, but it's a.
I have it written down.
Yeah, I have it written down too, which is terrible for the listeners. Are like, could you say it? I can't remember it.
I think I got it pretty handy.
We'll give you the full rundown on all of our equipment when we go in, which will be, I'm sure, not as good as anything you can Google immediately. But the one thing that is cool is the reader that she had told us about. So I'll bring some extra battery backups just in case, even though I've heard those don't tend to work.
The Spirit Story Box and ER70 EVP recorder apps.
Yes. And that mimics the recorder from the 80s that came out. And within that recorder, people were returning them because they thought that they were like, they're picking up extra sounds that weren't even there. Like, this thing's broken, whatever. And then people were finding like, hey, this thing actually, like, whatever is going on here, the perfect mix of metals or whatever, however that conductor works for that is just like perfect for picking up EVPs. So in like at least from what I've heard, it's just it's pretty easy to get them if you have this thing. You could just say something into the void and the void will speak back, which is absolutely what I want to happen.
So my equipment is going to be that app, a flashlight, and a change of underwear, and probably
a small bag.
Maybe even 2 pairs of underwear.
Yeah, just start with swim trunks, and then you can just quickly swap them out. The netting will keep it, keep everything contained, and then you can throw them away.
That's just gonna strain it.
Like a tea. Ooh, it's condensed. I apologize for everything. Oh man. Oh well, I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Obviously we were just it's a little bit of a mess around episode, like I feel like most of our episodes, but you know what you came here for.
We're working on trying to book a few people from the Ohio Bigfoot conference, maybe come on and tell their stories in person.
I meant to get a hold. I didn't mean to like just knock my drink like 5 times. I meant to get a hold of that one guy who we saw at Monster Fest and also ran that other one that I forgot to. I didn't see him after I was gonna like talk to him. Do you know what I'm talking about? The guy who with the dog. Yeah,
I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I can reach out.
Oh, okay, yeah, reach out to him. Ask him if he wants to be on. There's also, I don't know if you saw this. There's a Halloween store that's opening up, and this one guy's like he's really into Halloween in this town. And I was gonna have him on too. So I don't know. He seemed like he had some fun. He was into enjoying spooky stuff. So hopefully he has something. We'll see. Well, listen, we're figuring it out. But by year 2, we're gonna figure this out. When there's one listener, it's your brother.
when you give 2 idiots a podcast, this is what you get.
Yeah, listen, you came for gold, you got bronze. All right. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming, sticking down to the end. If you did, join us every Friday at 5. We are live most Fridays. If not, we're just really popular and fun, and we have other stuff to do sometimes. So sometimes we're pre-recorded, and we apologize, but we love when you guys are in the chat. We love to talk to you, and if you have any stories or anything you want to share with us, monstersoupodcast@gmail.com. If you want to check us out on our Facebook page, which I barely update, it's Monster Soup Podcast on Facebook. If you want to look at my fun art that I do, Mischief Factory, Mischief-Factory on the interwebs, Mischief Factory on TikTok. I make little fun drawings. And just all around fun guys. So if you want to go to a party sometime, let me know. I'll show up, just like Bill Murray did. All the time. So I'll be your Bigfoot John Belushi. Yeah, so till next week, we'll see you then. Later, guys. Woo-woo. Woo-woo.